And good morning, good day, good evening. Welcome everyone, and also welcome everyone here on the stream. It's great to see you all. We'll have, I hope, an interesting show. I'm sure we will, with people from SparkDEX, HyperNative, Kinetic, and of course Flare. So before we get going and let people introduce themselves, just a few quick things. So as you might know, we have our little contest going on guessing the exchange rate. The exchange rate is right. And tomorrow we will end that submission process, and we'll have the flare drop, and then we will know who was closest. The closest person who has S-Flare as well will get 10,000 S-Flare, and then we will pick 5 random people who are staked and have also given us their guess, and we'll give them 1,000 S-Flare. Then after the flare drop, we will turn off the buy-in staking, so you'll be able to stake without the buy-in fee. And then I'm supposed to say, yes, that our next show will be a community special. I won't tell you who our guest is, but obviously someone from the community. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, so let's get to it. Who wants to introduce themselves first?
I'll do it.
Of course,
I'm from Kinetic. I'm the communications guy for Kinetic. When they need a head to talk, that's me, baby. So that's what I'm here for, really. That and supporting Sceptre's first birthday, which is a very momentous occasion. We will be singing happy birthday to Sceptre later, I imagine. So looking forward to that.
I'm not sure I'm looking forward to that, but I'll give you some balloons for that. All right, who's next?
Hey guys, how you doing? It's Alexi here. Happy birthday. You definitely don't want me singing. My voice may make you lose some hearing there. But we're one of the co-founders here, along with Steve, for SparkDEX.
All right, welcome. Next up.
Yeah, I can go next. So I'm Thanos. I help on the DeFi side for Flare Network. We coordinate between projects, kind of help build out the ecosystem here on the BD team alongside Max. So I mostly focus on helping our DeFi ecosystem grow and having projects integrate together to hopefully create a more holistic experience on Flare here. Been working very closely with the Sceptre team, SparkDEX, and Kinetic all to make the Flare experience a lot better. I'll pass the baton to Max, who I work very closely with on a daily basis.
Thanks. Yeah, it's great to be here. Congratulations on the first anniversary. And thanks for inviting myself and Thanos. Yeah, I'm head of growth at Flare. I have the fortune, and I'm quite proud to say I know everyone on this chat, on this show today. So it's nice to see you all. Gal, welcome. And yeah, I work closely with Thanos at Flare, help oversee a number of different protocols that come into the network. Obviously, we're stoked to have HyperNative doing the monitoring, and yeah, it's great to be here, guys. Thanks so much.
You're all very welcome. Gal, you already have your microphone on, so let's go.
Yeah, nice. So very happy to see a lot of familiar faces and names here. I'm Gal, CEO of HyperNative. We help to monitor and protect the Flare ecosystem and notable projects. HyperNative is a real-time security and fraud prevention company, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. All right, I think only Steve is left.
last but not least, hello, my name is Steve. I'm one of the co-founders of HyperNative and SparkDEX. I'm mostly handling the technology and the development side.
Welcome, welcome. I'm really happy to have you all here. I think we will probably run out of time at some point, but let's just dive right into it. So since I've been here for 1 year, working with Flare, a little bit over a year working with Flare actually, but working with you guys and following the network, obviously a lot of stuff has been going on lately. So Thanos, Max, do you want to say something about the current state and any future developments that are, ready to burst?
I mean, I can definitely chat a little bit about this. I mean, so as probably everyone who's watching the show is aware, Flare was initially set up to provide smart contract functionality for non-smart contract chain tokens, the first of which is XRP. And we've been working on making sure that we can provide the most secure, robust bridging for XRP to Flare so that it can then be used in a DeFi ecosystem. And it's great to have so many parts of our DeFi ecosystem here today, including the monitoring. And, we've already gone live with V1.1 of F assets on Songbird. And I'm very excited to say that over the coming months, we'll have this fully rolled out on Flare. And I'm also excited to say that there will be a number of different protocols that will be launching on the network that can really help maximize the experience for XRP holders to get the most out of their asset, enabling it to be used as economic security on other networks, Flare primarily, through a restaking protocol that's going to be launching, having sets of pools across SparkDEX, vaults on Kinetic, the ability to kind of move through those, pair them against assets like S-Flare through Sceptre. I'm very excited. I'll let Thanos add a little bit more color on that. But we've been building out the ecosystem. I'm really glad to say that the incentive program that was launched, I think around July last year, following FIPO9, has gone really well. And we've welcomed a lot of new capital to the chain, a lot of holders of assets, including Ethereum via Rapteeth, via the Stargate bridge, and also from the Dinero bridge as Flare ETH. So seeing this all kind of culminate in quite an expansion of TVL, way beyond what I think I had anticipated so quickly, has been quite the pleasure. And as everyone knows, we also brought USDT 0 to the chain recently, which was, I think, a very important piece in unlocking XRP Fi on Flare. But I'll let Thanos build out a little bit there too.
Yeah, I think that was great color there. So currently, as Flare sits today, I think that we've, over the course of the last year, introduced many of the basic foundational DeFi primitives that are needed in order to have a functioning chain, right? In terms of institutions being able to do and put on positions how they'd want. So we have Kinetic, obviously, which is our lend and borrow. We have SparkDEX, which is the Uniswap V3 that is underlying that lending borrow to allow for liquidations, etc. We've then introed now what I would say is the closest to a canonical stable you can get from Tether with USDT 0, can on and off board from centralized exchanges without having to use bridges. We've now increased the liquidity for that stable coin and now are really waiting the arrival of F assets, which I think much of our community has over the last year or so. So F assets version 1.1 is planned to go out, I would say, hopefully soon. We are live and well on Songbird, and I think that the launch for Flare is imminent at this point. From there, we'll start bootstrapping liquidity in many of the protocols that are represented here. And then from there, we'll continue building other products for all of our F asset users. Obviously, version 1.1 is very focused on XRP, and then we'll continue to grow from there. We have more institutional partners that are becoming interested as they see the launch of F assets on Songbird be a success. And then once we have that on Flare, I think it'll be that's really when the marathon starts, and we start to integrate more and more and have these XRP users become more familiar with our dApps on our chain. So institutional partnerships, we have the liquidity and the respective protocols beneath it on Flare, and continuing to grow out just the reach of Flare to exchanges, other major ecosystem partners and players, and just continue working on that as the year goes by. So there's plenty more in store here. Obviously, I don't want to jump the gun in front of marketing, but I think that there's going to be plenty to come. Obviously, everyone here on this stream has some part and role to play in that. So it should be very exciting.
All right, thank you. We actually don't mind if you jump the gun on something. We actually enjoy that, but I get that you have a script there. Who wants to jump in about F assets? I'm sure someone has something to say about that. No? We're just gonna someone maybe from SparkDEX about their pools, or maybe Jake about their pools, or maybe monitoring around F assets. I'm very curious.
You want me to talk about F assets? Listen, we're ready. We're going to be doing some testnet stuff with F assets soon. We're excited. Basically, imagine a little ferret with foam around its mouth. A rabid ferret. That's Kinetic when it comes to F assets. We are desperately. We're here with the chalice. We're getting ready to offer to the community. It's going to be huge. It's going to be big, and we're very integrated. We're very integrated. There's a lot we can't tell, because if you ever hint at any kind of deadline, people come with torches and a very, very thick, long piece of rope for you. So we're not going to say any dates. We're going to say everyone's favorite word soon. But it's basically that's the next evolution, not for just the Flare network, but for Kinetic. It's going to be F assets. So we're very, very excited to be a part of it.
All right. If you're, by the way, a ferret with foam, I think we should actually come with those torches and cables and stuff. But
the rabies shot, yeah. Yeah, look, super excited for it. So obviously on SparkDEX, we're looking forward to obviously setting up some pools with some very juicy rewards for all F assets. Working closely with the Flare team on that. Also working closely with some partner protocols as well to help bring some utility to them as well. So I think the audience should stay tuned for some exciting announcements in the coming weeks. I want to jump ahead of the marketing team here and get told off, but yeah, really, really looking forward to it.
Good to hear. Gal.
I was happy to hear Max and everything that is going on in general in Flare. I think our mission, right, was to keep up with everything that you guys are building and doing it greatly, and making sure that our team is able to actually model the different kind of risks that are there and embed them into HyperNative. And I think the nice thing that we see about HyperNative that I think is very relevant in the Flare network is that the more projects, chains that we work with, the more we gather this wide intelligence of where risks are. And a lot of this learning is basically something that we embed and we then implement for all the projects that are here that we are working together. So happy to continue providing that and keeping up with everything that you guys are building.
Yeah, I have to say I really appreciate you guys watching our backs. Really gives us a better idea when we go to bed, or even just shut the monitor off for a second.
Yeah, I mean, from our perspective, Lex and Gal, as a layer 1 EVM chain, we really wanted to be able to offer the users, the community of Flare, the most robust opportunities to participate in decentralized finance that we could. We've done as much due diligence as we can on what the most kind of favorable structures are. We're very insistent, especially I'm aware from the emissions committee, kind of when I liaise with the emissions committee, they're telling me a lot about kind of the importance of audits, of monitoring, of verified contracts across both of the explorers, Flare Scan and the Block Scout Flare Explorer. We really want to be able to make sure that the users on Flare and also people coming from other networks have a robust ecosystem through which they can participate in decentralized finance. Flare really did try and optimize for decentralization, which means that from a computation standpoint, obviously the dApps are not going to be as kind of extensive and as rapid as you might find on an iPhone or something like that. But we're also working on that, as I think probably many people are aware, in terms of the verifiable off-chain compute as an extension to the current execution capabilities of blockchain. The kind of the forays into trusted execution environments and the ways that those protocols will be able to boost productivity on blockchain and really kind of provide the rails for some more, I guess, superior UI UX applications is exciting. So we're building literally just one step at a time, as carefully as we can. And you have a good portion of the stable of products here today. With lending markets are really critical if you want to be doing looping, all sorts of leverage trading. That's absolutely key. And then the DEXs are imperative so that you have the liquidity available for liquidations, which is where SparkDEX come in. You have to have SparkDEX or DEXs with ample liquidity to facilitate really secure running of those of the lending protocols. Then obviously the LST through Sceptre, that's important so that users have the ability to access compounding yields through the Flare native organic incentives, inflationary incentives that are available through wrapping and delegation and staking, plus the Flare drops, which will be in play until January of 2026. And then obviously the monitoring. So across all of that, I'm very pleased to see kind of how the ecosystem is shaping up. Thanos and I are currently working on ways that we can enable kind of when the F-Assets bridge goes live on Flare mainnet for users to be able to really get the most out of their XRP. And this is the use case for Flare as that DeFi utility layer for the XRP ecosystem and also other ecosystems, right? We're also aiming to do this for all non-smart contract chain tokens, including Bitcoin and Dogecoin. But XRP is our main focus. We're heading to Apex over the next, end of this week. Hugo's going to be speaking, talking a little bit about the restaking protocol. And my mission, along with Thanos, is to make sure that the ecosystem is fully supportive of all of the different opportunities that are going to be available for robust yields through the XRP token. So yeah, hopefully that provides a little bit of extra context. And we're working very hard to make sure that the stable of opportunities is as robust and broad as we can possibly make it at this time.
All right, thank you. Besides F-Assets, guys, do you have something new that you're working on that you dare to say something about? Always interested in.
Yeah, sure. From the SparkDEX side, we've got a couple of different things. I'm going to make sure to not drop too many of them here now and not overpromise. But one thing that we're looking forward to in the coming months is deploying a V4 concentrated liquidity DEX. For those that aren't super familiar, I'll try break it down a little bit. But currently, SparkDEX has deployed a V2 and V3 concentrated liquidity DEX. V4 is essentially the exact same as V3, but with hook functionality. So looking forward to deploying that, let's say, in the next coming months. And with hook functionalities, there's a wide range of different things that you can build out. This might be things from offering users with these hooks trading discounts, so similar to like a centralized exchange. If you hit a certain milestone with the amount of volume that you've done, discounts can start to apply. It might be things where you set up liquidity in the pool within certain parameters, and the liquidity that's set up that's outside of range, that is kind of idle capital sitting there inefficiently, can be taken and placed into a lending market like Kinetic. So you can earn rewards on that liquidity, making it more capital efficient. So there's a wide range of different things that you can essentially build out with these hooks and leverage strategies can go on. So yeah, really looking forward to that. And I will say that we're working with a few partners behind the scenes. We'll be making some more announcements shortly. But yeah, that's one thing from our side that we're really looking forward to. So one of my main things that I absolutely love and I want to see more of in DeFi is better capital efficiency.
I think we all like to see that.
We all did a nice little nod.
Yes.
in
Head bobbing.
sync.
Yeah.
With Kinetic, something new we announced yesterday, we're implementing collateral swaps, which means if you have supplied assets, you enable them as collateral, you're borrowing against them, and you would like to switch your underlying collateral for another asset, you now, well, not now, it's coming soon. You will be able to, for a fee, you will be able to switch it off. This isn't something everyone's going to be doing constantly, hopefully. But if you are in a space where, say, your underlying collateral is in a volatile asset and you want to convert that to a stable, previously you would have to unwind your borrow, repay it, move it over. It's a long process. This is something people have with USDT 0 coming out. And they've already had established collateral, established borrows. This is something they've been requesting a lot. So we are bringing it to the people. So we're really excited about that. That's going to be coming hopefully in the next week or so. I'll give a general deadline, no date, within the next week or so. Hopefully, with the upper intonation of my voice, you can tell that I am 100% confident that it will be in the next week. But yeah, I think it's going to be good. It's not something everyone's going to be using, but it is something that whoever is going to be using it is going to be very thankful that it exists.
So this is going to be great for the people who loop and stuff like that, so they don't have to unwind that or unloop that mess.
Yes, so it'll be really good for that. If you're getting close to liquidation and you're like, hey, I just want to make sure that this stays stable, right? Because my underlying collateral is in something that's changing in value in the wrong way. Sometimes it goes the other way and we're happy. And you're a good Kinetic user. You're monitoring your health factor every day, which I encourage at least, regular check-ins, like to your doctor. If your doctor was at your house every day and you could just talk to him and he's in your living room. Anyway, if you're monitoring your health factor and you're seeing, okay, that's not going the way I want it, it's because there is a fee associated, but you're worried about possible liquidation, it is an option for you. Like I said, it's not something everyone's going to be switching around doing that all the time. That would not, it wouldn't be good for you to do that. But if you are in that situation, it's essentially a way to convert your stuff over for a fee instead of getting liquidated, which I think we can all agree sounds pretty good.
It does. Yeah. Not the liquidated part, but not getting liquidated sounds
right.
Good.
Well, and sometimes when you have a bunch of borrows, when you've looped really closely, which I advise people not to, hyper loop, because even if you're dealing with a stable, if you're like, then you unwind too much, that's still going to affect your health factor. It's still going to affect the amount of collateral you have, right? So that's something you also need to be worried about. But this will help you transition things to other assets without having to unwind your borrows, which will be really nice.
Yep, sounds great.
I'll say about the two, I think, very nice things that I like that we're doing now in HyperNative. One of them is, so we've been working a lot with obviously protocols and chains to keep them safe. But we've also worked a lot with like big asset managers, traders, and now financial institutions, especially as the US regulation is changing. There is a lot of interest from a lot of these organizations to participate and deploy funds, but it's very hard for them to do it based on like modeling all the different type of risks and being able to essentially monitor them. So we've built this what we call an institutional gateway that essentially gives them the ability to model a project risks and be able to monitor it based on thresholds that they have, and make sure that it's applicable for them to deploy more funds. And we actually see that it's increasing liquidity, and it's something that we definitely want to bring more to the Flare ecosystem. And it's basically shortening the time, right, to model risk and address different kind of, from technical to security to sometimes compliance, depending on the organization. And anyone that, by the way, is interested or wants more details, I'm happy to discuss. So please feel free. It's kind of something that we see, right? Like connecting the different users of HyperNative together in a safe way. And I do think that going forward, like if the trends that we are seeing are actually happening in the next year or two, we'll see many more different use cases and liquidity that comes from different kind of use cases, from stablecoin and payments and treasury and tokenization, that will want to leverage a lot of what all of you are building, and that will be maybe a middleware or a safe way for that to happen. The other thing that we've been progressing, and this is also something that we want to bring more to the Flare ecosystem. So we've been focusing a lot on protecting protocols and indirectly protecting the users that are participating. What we've been doing in the last few months is basically create a technology that also address phishing, scamming, and fraud. And basically leverage similar concept to what we've been doing, but to essentially unlock scam networks, because we've seen on a daily basis huge amounts of money that is being stolen from users, from front-end attacks to phishing sites to even like investment fraud on Telegram. And we've seen we are able very accurately to surface these scam networks proactively, and this is something that we are obviously trying to get to the wallets, to the users, finding the right distribution channels to get it to every user, so people will be able to transact safely, know who they are transacting, and not getting fished or scammed and lose funds, which is to us an important aspect, right, of growing our ecosystem together.
Yeah, definitely. Like if we are talking about scamming, at least like I have the sometimes pleasure, I guess, to ban people, a lot of people on Discord who are coming with support tickets. Support tickets are also something that I see a lot of on X. It's crazy how many people or how many accounts pop up to do that. They even have phone numbers attached to their accounts and stuff like that. So they really go out of their way to try and hook one person. And
they go the extra mile. I have to. In Discord, you can't send links anymore in there because they'll find some kind of edge case link. I have a few whitelist links. So like from Flare, from the Kinetic Twitter, basic stuff, but otherwise you can't post any links. I've got like 3 different like auto immediate banning bots working in unison. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And I think what we see at HyperNative is that it's actually like it become a business, right? Like there are companies that are offering like a phishing as a service to people. So you want to steal people funds, you pay them, they create the entire infrastructure for you, and you don't need to know a lot, right? Like it's very easy, and it's becoming easier and easier to create that kind of infrastructure. And these are exactly the networks, right, that we want to surface very early and block.
Yeah, I've had people who are like in a scam group on Telegram for months, and they're like, "But you have like 10,000 users." I'm nope, we have like 768 or something like that. It's like just quiet for a long time and not typing anything, and then like, okay, I'll move to the other group. But that's like, I guess he got lucky because maybe he didn't get scammed yet. But it's insane how vicious they are.
Yeah.
Steve, do you have something that you want to share with us?
Yeah, first, Alex, you already spoiled it with the V4 DEX possibly coming to SparkDEX soon. Something not directly related to SparkDEX, but to the Flare ecosystem itself is in development by us. One is the cross-chain swap integration, or let's say a TE, what we are building. It's you can cross-chain swap directly, let's say your XRP, without using the normal F-assets methodology. You can use our interface directly, or you can swap your XRP directly via Flare to, let's say, USDT on a destination chain you desire. So it will utilize F-assets and the Flare chain, and then send the assets with Stargate to your destination chain if you want another than Flare. That's one part we are building. It will be quite great, and we are actually only waiting that F-assets are live, so we are already finished with this development. So it will be also utilizing later, let's say, BTC natively and Doge when F-assets will support this. So you will be able to buy from Arbitrum USDT 0 directly FXRP or XRP, which will utilize Flare's F-asset system, for example. So one thing, other than this cross-chain, is we're building actually a native wallet for Flare. This will be a smart account wallet where a user can generate a wallet simply with their passkey, or let's say with their Google account or Apple account, so they don't have this burden with all this seed phrases, and can recover from every device they want. There will be also all the Flare drop claiming, rewarding your delegation, Sceptre, Kinetic, SparkDEX will be integrated, so all the farmings will be displayed directly from there, and you can directly provide liquidity from the wallet, or add collateral to Kinetic market, or buy your S Flare, so you don't have this going to each D app. You will have an overview of all farming opportunities, directly on-off ramping fiat to your wallet. This cross-chain bridge will also integrate it inside. There will be learn-to-earn campaigns like Academy. So we will teach each user how to provide liquidity on Kinetic or SparkDEX, what is a LST, how you can benefit from LSTs, and there will be like a quiz in the end where the user can interact with, let's say, as Flare, and make the first stake with their Flare token. So that's actually in the build, and also close to beta release. So we built a lot of stuff in the background the last months.
All right. Does it have a name you want to say out loud, or?
Luminite wallet.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's what I was going to ask. I was like, what's the name? What's the name?
No, I think a lot of people who've been like watching your accounts probably should be able to guess that, but I think we put it together here. Great, thank you. I think that's the one that I can actually recommend to my friends who are like, they don't understand what blockchain is, and if they hear crypto, they just get scared. So maybe there are other ways for them to participate, and I think this might be just Just the way. All right, amazing. I think maybe we can check in and see if there are any questions from the audience. Let's hope that my friend Joel is awake. He is. Jake, it's for you.
Oh, great. Hit me with it.
Will there ever be a possibility where I pay back my loan in Kinetics with a different cryptocurrency, but of the same value?
I mean, things would have to change. It's possible. It's possible. Yeah. As far as there would be a lot of ways that could go wrong, is what I'll say. I'll say that. There's a lot of ways that could go poorly. Something that I was talking with a user about recently, which is we announced a new collateral swap feature, and they're like, new features are scary. And first I was like, what? Don't you want new features? But they had a point. Sometimes new features are scary. They can open up issues. For collateral swap, we're confident that we'll be okay. But with something like paying back your loan in a different currency, immediately my mind starts thinking, okay, well, how could that be exploited? It's possible. It's possible, but I think it might be simpler for you to maybe just swap your currency to the one that your loan is in yourself, and then just pay it back. That might work better. That might work better.
I guess he could set something up like that, like
it would be the same thing. I mean, we have like a swap thing integrated into the Kinetic site itself, so you can like swap on Kinetic.
Yeah.
So, if you want to use our OpenOcean integration to just swap your token to the other token to pay it back, that's basically what you're asking for. But like an automatic thing, maybe you should just click the button yourself. I think maybe that would be better.
For now, right?
For now. I mean, it's possible.
I fully understand.
We'd probably be going through the same process anyway. I guess we could do it. It would basically be the same. We're almost there with the integration being directly on our website. So sure, it's possible. Would you necessarily want it? Would it be a better value? I don't know. Maybe. Is that? I hope they wanted a nice firm maybe.
Yeah, maybes are great. When I say maybe, then usually people are like, oh, that means yes. So I guess
yeah.
I'm not great with maybe. All right, let's see. Do we have anything else? For SparkDEX, how did the SparkDEX team adapt to being the #1 in TVL on Flare?
Did you throw a party?
Yeah. Did you?
Did you make like a picture with little graves of everyone else in the Flare ecosystem? Did you make a little Kinetic grave and say like, you're done? We're #1, baby.
All right, I mean, and I'll let Steve jump in too, but by delivering on the various different features that we have, so obviously by launching the V2, the V3 DEX, the perpetuals, having a fairly straightforward, easy to understand UI, UX, and working very closely with the Flare team also. I mean, working with the Flare team, they've been a fantastic support for us. Listening to the community. Look, sometimes we've gotten things wrong. One of the early day mistakes we made was not having enough educational material around the V3, so the concentrated liquidity DEX. A lot of retail users still find that somewhat difficult to understand, and it was one of the early day mistakes that we made. But obviously, we heard the feedback from the community, so we put out to trials for them to understand. So yeah. Steve, anything else from your side to add in there?
I think the great support of the Flare team with nice emissions is also one of the main reasons, beside the good, nice UI and the features we built in. So thank you for the Flare team.
People do love yield, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Did you pop a bottle?
Maybe a couple bottles.
Oh, okay.
It's funny. We usually we get a lot of the like #1 TVL questions, and it's I don't know about you guys, but it's like cool. You know, it's like on our ecosystem, yeah, but we're not really in competition with one another. So
we kind of really need each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's very true, right? Like for kinetic liquidations to happen, they swap through SparkDEX, right? So it's not necessarily a TVL goal. I mean, I think TVL as a whole is a convoluted metric, right? It's
Yeah,
not.
I mean, it's an important metric, but it's not the end all be all. And for an ecosystem to properly function, I mean, even from a selfish perspective, us at SparkDEX, I mean, we want Kinetics to succeed. We want other DeFi Lego blocks to come to build onto the chain. Yeah, I mean, it's within all of our interests to see the community grow as a whole. Sure, maybe you might end up being a smaller percentage of the pie, but you end up being a small percentage of a much larger pie as well, put it simply.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think
I got a question that was like, how do you feel about SparkDEX passing it? I'm like, well, we rely on SparkDEX.
I saw that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. We need them. You would want your main DEX to have, by design, more liquidity than your main lending protocol. Like, yay. There's not a competition when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not a drag race or something, right? We all need to get to the finish to be successful. So, all right, let's see for Max. Any cool upcoming protocols born out of the Flare developer incentives we should keep an eye on?
So I'm thinking this is like both from a grant, maybe from an RFP angle, but also following the hackathon we did with Google Cloud for confidential space, verifiable off-chain compute. Yes, there are some really cool things actually that are currently in build. I can't really provide any additional information, but what I would say is that the blog that we did on protocol controlled wallets or protocol managed wallets is going to be quite critical in having the next wave of applications built. We really, I think it was Jake who was saying that we want to see more. Actually, it might have been Alexi who was talking about more capital efficient usage of assets, like more efficient usage of assets on the chain. And I think that's something that we're definitely keen to have explored by builders and see kind of what can be done, how it can be managed in a more efficient way. That's something that's definitely being explored with that layer effectively. I think there's also, I can let Thanos kind of add some more detail on this, but we're also very interested in agentic AI and how it can enable a safer user journey. Having the registered smart contracts linked kind of directly so that participation takes place directly with those verified smart contracts is important. As you were mentioning earlier, there's definitely some issues with scamming and phishing. If there's the ability to have the verified contracts that have been audited plugged in directly to an agentic AI solution, and the agent can basically act on parameters that are defined specifically by the user in terms of their risk tolerance, etc., then I think we start to get into a more interesting arena of structured products that are available on chain. So that's also being explored through the whole Flare AI enterprise, as it were. The Flare AI kit is currently being worked on, and I'm looking forward to kind of seeing how that evolves and is adopted by builders. And then the next kind of level of incentives for builders is going to be what can we build on top of what we currently have. So when the F-Assets bridge will go live, I'm interested to understand what can be built on top of the primitives that are available. And so there's definitely some interesting things in the works there. We've been quite cautious, like quite, I guess the best way to describe it is like conservative in our approach. But we are investigating how to make structured products reliably available on chain. And, you know, we're looking at opportunities with RWAs, tokenization, and a number of different other things that builders may want to build using our infrastructure. And obviously that would pass through a lot of the dApps present here today. So it's exciting. I'm actually pretty, I don't, Thanos, are you also pretty excited about like the next 6 months? I mean, we've been building towards this for quite a while now, and kind of seeing it come to fruition is definitely exciting for me.
Yeah, what I can add there is that F-Assets is merely what I think is the first step of what the progression of DeFi on Flare is going to look like, and how we're thinking about like what the growth of our underlying dApps is as well, right? It starts with launching like a key or core protocol from the chain itself that then can relay into which specific dApps that we have on the chain, right? Like, I think that the problem with most new chains today is that they lack, let's say, a specialized protocol that really makes them who they are, right? Generalized compute of blockchains is just readily available on most chains. I think with Flare, what we have is F-Assets is one of our core protocols that we're bringing to the chain, that then we have other places that users can participate and let's say use those F-Assets, whether it is in a restaking protocol, whether it is on Kinetic directly, whether it is providing liquidity to SparkDEX, or even potentially providing it to a vault, right? Like there's a lot of different things that we've been thinking about as to like how we can sustainably grow like our XRP products on Flare, right? And then we're also thinking about, well, how do we drive value back to our ecosystem and Flare itself? So F-Assets in its first state is merely just the first version of it, right? It's going to grow in many different ways into different ecosystems, and obviously with different institutional partners. Something that we have announced recently was Uphold as an exchange is going to be looking to take XRP and participate in Flare to provide sustainable yields. That is the first major exchange that has said that, and I think that there's potentially a cascade effect here of well, hey, if Uphold is providing sustainable XRP yield, why can't a different exchange do it? Why can't a different institution where people are holding Flare, holding XRP, also provide a similar structure, right? So there's like launching F-Assets is just really the first step of what it really takes to make like a functioning ecosystem of what XRP can do, and like actually start XRP-Fi as a whole. It's just the foundational piece that allows people to enter the ecosystem, and then the games that you have there are really important.
Yeah. All right. So people who want to know more, I guess they're just going to have to keep on refreshing their X accounts until they actually appear what they want to see, right? That's how it goes.
Yep. Just keep tagging Max on Twitter, and he'll eventually respond.
He'll just delete his account, I'm sure.
No. But you know, you're welcome to ping me. I don't know if I can provide any more detail than I can on this call. I tend to, when things are kind of moving, it's really up to marketing and liaising kind of with various different protocols. But as Drew mentioned, there's a lot of exciting things happening. So
yeah, cool. All right, for Gal, do you feel like the general public's sentiment when it comes to security in crypto has improved in recent years? How can people one day feel as safe as they do with traditional finance?
I think it's improving, right? Like I can't say. I still think, right, that we are facing a lot of different incidents, and people still are losing funds on. I think on a phase that is not the phase that we want to be at right now. I think it comes from, right, like it's still in terms of like when you compare it to traditional finance, we are still an early industry, right? Like the solutions are being built, and teams are joining to make things better. I truly believe that when you look at the long horizon, then DeFi and blockchain can, because of the transparency and because of the constructs, actually become safer than especially on the fraud areas and the retail protection. So I think over time, we're not there yet, and it takes a lot of commitment because 3 years ago, when we started HyperNative, when I discussed with people about our solution, the discussion was very, very different. And today, I feel that people are very receptive and understand the ROI and the importance to monitor and have a way to react to things that are happening. And I truly believe that with the path that we are going, especially with crypto payments and stable coins, we are going to become safer and better for the retail user than traditional finance, because you don't hear about it as much maybe, but there are a lot of people that are getting fished and scammed also with credit cards and other mechanisms.
Do you think that part of that journey of making crypto safer for every user is going to involve taking a lot of agency away from individual people as time goes on?
I think it's about, right, like being able to create the kind of transparency that surface these malicious activities very, very early, right? Because when you have people are using the transparency today as a way to attack, right? Protocols. The money is very clear. It's a very easy target, even for nation state players. But if you look at how we are evolving, I think that transparency will actually become an advantage, because, right, we'll be able to surface these behaviors very, very early, and we'll be able to close these kind of like scam networks or bad actors. And I hope that we are moving in this direction. At least that's what we are trying to do at HyperNative.
Thank you. All right. Oh, all right. If we have to. The homepage of Sceptre has a statement at the bottom. This is in beta. Will the beta phase ever end? Probably not.
No.
It is just a warning. Look, these are smart contracts and applications. They can always be exploited in new ways that we are not aware of until they happen. And we want people to understand that, look, there's constant work on these protocols. We have monitoring, we have audits. We keep an eye out, of course, on all kinds of security sites and such, to see what risks exist, what new risks appear. But if we remove the sentence, it doesn't become any safer. I think the only thing that you can say is like, okay, we've run for a year, all good. We've done audits. We have our partner here monitoring our contracts and the entire network, not just our contracts. That is, I think, all we can do at this point, right?
So it's less about the specific definition of what a beta phase is and more just like, hey, this is a thing that is changing. This is a thing that's in flux. Just be aware of that.
Yeah,
which
it's
is good to tell people because, yeah, like, some people are like, oh, well, did you get audited? It's like, an audit does not account for every single possibility. New exploits are being found every day. As we saw with Sui, like, weird stuff's going to be happening all the time. There's not a way to just like rubber stamp good. So no, that's a good way of keeping people aware. Like, you're on the bleeding edge of technology here. Like things are, there's always an inherent risk of using any smart contract.
Yeah, we're not trying to scare anyone, but we're not gonna say like, hey, this is 100% safe, because it can never say that.
Well, then that we would be lying to you.
Yeah, then we would be lying. If a bank says that, then they're lying as well, because banks have been hacked and they have been robbed. So
the Great Depression. Do you remember?
Sorry,
the Great Depression. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
Oh, I was back there. Those days were rough. Couldn't get a good jar of mayonnaise anywhere. It was all too warm.
I'm pretty sure you painted your beard in that case.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as the Dust Bowl era, but that was rough too.
All right, you hear it here. Jake has found the pool of or the fountain of youth at some point in his life. All right, that's all for the questions. So I'm just gonna give everybody a chance to say anything they might still want to get off.
I have a question for the panel. I have a question. So I'm guessing pretty much everyone on the panel here is at least slightly of an AI enthusiast. Would that be accurate? Yeah. Okay. When will AI be able to make me a sandwich?
A sandwich.
At least one.
Doesn't matter
do one a day.
If you like it, if it's edible, or
I want to be able to go to AI. I'll call him Alan. I want to be able to go to Alan and say, make me a sandwich, and it does it for me.
That's what your wife is for.
Look, they don't have to toast the bread even. I just want a sandwich made that I don't have to make.
It sounds doable. The question is, how much are you willing to pay for it?
$15,000.
I mean, the Chinese already have a bunch of humanoids. How I think about AI, it's essentially just the brain. It's just it's just like a hardware problem at this point. With BYD and Boston Dynamics and like a few other companies like Tesla have already started venturing into humanoids. I would imagine it's closer than you think.
5 years?
Yeah, I'd say in 5 years it's maybe doable, maybe even in 10. Yeah.
Okay. I can wait 5 years. 10 might be pushing it. I can wait 5 years. I mean, this is a real question I have because all the development in AI, like I hear that they're working on like, how do we transition to the real world? Because obviously like AI is really good in the space that it was born, that it grew up, right? But not in our physics-based, I don't want to say hellscape, but it's certainly not as clean and as simple as the programming realm. I've been there. It's nice. Weather's a little humid. But I legitimately am like, when is this transition going to happen? Because, take all the artist jobs you want, but can we replace my plumber? He has a body odor issue. I would really like to replace him as well.
All right, you're going to get sued. Actually, the only thing we have here are these robots that deliver stuff to your door. Like a little car that drives around on usually 6 wheels, and they just drive through the city.
Unfortunately, because of the minimum wage in America being so low, it's not yet cost effective to not just like hire some guy in his van
we have robots for that.
Deliver my package.
Have you ever been in a Waymo?
Oh, excuse me?
Have you ever been in a Waymo?
I have never been, nor do I know what a Waymo is.
yeah, you should check out what a Waymo is. They've already eclipsed like most of the market share or the rideshare market in San Francisco. They're effectively cars without drivers.
Oh, please.
No,
Please.
it's most of it's honestly, I think people prefer having driverless cars.
I would prefer it.
I mean, they're literally safer. All right, I think we should wrap up here. I think Alexi's got to hop
This is dangerous. All right. I want to thank everybody for being here, for having this nice discussion, and also all the people who watched. This will, of course, it has been recorded and will be cut up into pieces and everything, and stored online. You'll find it on our YouTube and hopefully also shared by others here. We have probably only one more show that we're going to do before my summer, and then I'm going to take a break. Believe it or not. I think I've earned it. And
are we going to sing Happy Birthday to Sceptre before we go?
You can sing Happy Birthday to Sceptre. Everybody
alone?
else can.
Okay. Happy birthday to Sceptre. I'm not going to sing the whole song.
Happy birthday
to Sceptre. Okay, we got some people. Happy birthday to Sceptre. Happy birthday to you.
It sounded a little bit like I should have done this, but
look, it's hard to
thank you.
Thanks,
we
guys.
tried.
Thank you very much. All right, guys.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.